Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Pisces. If Pisces is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Pisces, we have the universe as our card today. And we're going to just wait and see. What does this energy have to do with the tea leaves? It might be that you are coming to a place of completion. You have reached a goal. And maybe it is that things within your life are starting to kind of resort themselves. Okay? So let's take a look. We're going to see what the tea leaves have to say. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you'd like to hit that like button or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Okay, so let's go. We have that guy on the side here that looks like the magician. We also have this face. Let's take a look. We have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Almost kind of reminds me of maybe like an elf or some kind of fae creature. We also have, it looks like a bird who is crowing, or cock-a-doodle-doing, or whatever. Its mouth is wide open, its head is thrown back, it is sounding the alarm, right? And so this paired with this elf face, it leads me to believe that there's been some mischief in your home, in your life, but probably in your home. Things have been maybe moved around or misplaced. You are, I just keep thinking you're finding stuff in weird places, right? Like you find a pair of socks in the refrigerator or something. And maybe just kind of a feeling of not being alone, right? You're home alone. Maybe you live with people, or maybe you don't. But nobody's supposed to be home with you, right? And suddenly you get the feeling like somebody's in the room, somebody's in the hallway, maybe. There's not necessarily like the creaking or the sound of somebody walking around, but you just have that feeling like there's somebody observing me, something observing me, right? And I do feel like there is this energy, and I do think that it has probably has to be tied to something akin to the fae, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be that, but something, well, what we would call maybe supernatural, right? So I feel like you are definitely, and now this isn't something that's attached to you per se. I don't think it's attached to the place that you live either. It feels more like a transient kind of interest, right? Something that maybe lives outside. Maybe you live near some woods or, like a place that has water that's moving, a spring or maybe a little pond, or there's a little creek, or whatever it is. But I feel like this is tied more to the land around you, the general area, and for whatever reason this being has taken interest in you. Now I wonder if you have children in the house, or if you babysit, or you know, something like this, because they are often drawn to youthful energies. Okay, so I don't think that this is nefarious, but I do think with the alarm being kind of sounded, right? It's going off. At least maybe consider, right? Leaving an offering, maybe communing with the thing, trying to talk to it. Usually especially if this is something to do with the Fae, which is a lot of different, you know, creatures. They're not just fairies per se, but they really do like gifts. They also like food. I think I've read that they really like bread, pieces of bread, a little bit of honey and butter. They like fruit. Their favorite thing is egg water, which is the water that you boil your eggs in. So basically you boil some eggs, and then when you take it off the heat, instead of pouring it down the drain, right, you pour it into something to keep, and then you can go ahead and leave it as an offering. Now, I'm a person that, although I have altars, I do like to leave things at the window or at the front door. You know, like just a bowl full of egg water, right? Here you go. Be blessed. You know, please leave me alone. Stop taking all my socks. But yeah, I do. I feel like this is something that has been ongoing. I don't necessarily think it is related to anything disastrous. It's just kind of annoying, but also feels a little strange. Okay. Now I want to keep going here. We're going to turn this a little bit. So we have children. We have 1, 2, 3 children. This one looks like it's like running and pulling its blankie behind, like just cute. And trying to grab, it looks like, I don't know, maybe a ball. Reminds me of Pac-Man a little bit. And I'm looking over here. We have a face again. You have the eyes, the mouth, the ears again. And it kind of does. It looks like an ogre or something. We have a bird flying up here. So I kind of almost feel like you will be meeting with some friends from your childhood. Maybe you have some kind of anniversary coming up, or like a reunion, or you know, something where you will be seeing people that you've known for many, many years. And you might remain close, or maybe you just, you know, like they're your Facebook friends, right? You talk to them on Facebook, you keep up over email, but you haven't seen them in forever. Maybe you moved away, maybe they moved away. But I do feel like this is kind of a friendship dynamic where as soon as you all get together, it's like nothing has changed. There is just absolute joy. Yes, and it feels, I can see they're like running towards each other. And even this one running down this way. So I feel like it's something that you have been really waiting, you know, just anticipating. And I think that this is something that really will bring you quite a bit of happiness. Okay. Let's see, we have the number 3 up here. We also have the number, it looks like 25, maybe. Yeah, 25, right down here. We have the bird. So I do feel like there is some travel coming And maybe that's for one of the many holidays that are coming out. So many holidays in the next, 3 months or so. And I do feel like you will be traveling. You're going to be seeing people from back in the day. I feel like this really, it recharges your spirit, right? I feel like you just look forward to these trips where you can really kind of reconnect and recharge and all of those wonderful things. And yeah, and it just feels good. I feel like, the big thing here, it's not that there's any big problem in your life, but maybe feeling a little bit like you're just going through the motions. Okay. Now I'm looking at this. I'm trying to figure out, what does it say? And now it's the face again, but it also, if I go like this, it looks like it says C-E and then a heart. C-E and then a heart. So maybe some kind of love connection with the C-E person. I want to look over here. I have a little chick. Now, we also have that magician, right? This is the magician right over here. Okay. And then we have a person up here who's walking. They have flowers that are kind of blowing away in the wind a little bit. Now, I almost feel like this is a brother, maybe. Maybe a brother or a good friend that was platonic. But I think that they transitioned early. They have like this ever youthful kind of like energy essence. And I feel like this is a kid that just really was so thoughtful, right? Was always like bringing flowers to the house for mom, for you. Like to play outside and laughing, always laughing and smiling. And I just feel like as they got older, something went on. It seems like suddenly there's like these black clouds kind of in the sky. And I feel like they kind of became a little bit more of like a melancholy, maybe even kind of morose person. And as they got into their younger adulthood, unrecognizable to who they maybe were when they were a child. And I don't think it's too long after that that they transitioned. And so I feel like for you are somebody who is very psychically inclined. You might be kind of a medium. You have a connection to your ancestors, the family line. I feel like you dream about them, even if you don't know that this is family, right? You are very plugged in. And so it doesn't surprise me that you would be the one kind of receiving the visitations from your brother. Or it might be a cousin or a best friend or somebody very close to you. Now, I feel like with this magician energy, there seems to be kind of a confidence growing for you. And I feel like maybe for the first time in your life, or maybe this is a more recent thing, that you're trusting in your abilities. you are realizing like it's not just a bunch of, you know, woo woo, whatever. I'm just making up things in my mind, or, you know, I feel, or things that you wish were happening. Or maybe even, you know, where you're catastrophizing, right? Just having these like kind of visions of things just kind of going the wrong way, right? And you're thinking, well, maybe I'm just overthinking this. Maybe this is just like I'm ruminating on this and it's getting worse and worse in my mind. And that might be the case to some degree, but I think that a lot of what is going on is that your abilities are really beginning to bloom. And I feel like this connection to this masculine energy is going to be one of those kind of big rites of passage in your life where you are beginning to really be able to hone those skills, believe in those skills, right? And put them to use. And I think that you will really begin to surprise yourself, okay? So this feels like you really beginning on the path towards that magician archetype energy, okay? Really activating that aspect of self, okay? Now, over here, it looks like it says fry, F-R-Y. We have a scythe for harvesting. An illuminating candle. So I feel like... Ooh, I almost feel like as you're taking this trip, as you're leaving your home, there's going to be a lot more phenomena, right? I think that part of this is you projecting your mind or your psyche, right? Kind of like a poltergeist type of situation, which poltergeist is like technically when we are manifesting our unconscious or our psychic, you know, whatever doings, the things that are happening for us psychically, they begin to manifest in the physical. So like a lot of times when you have teenagers, preteens, they're emotionally volatile. They're also vulnerable to, you know, spiritual entities or these paranormal type of things or whatever. But they're living in a home. They start to have different kinds of paranormal phenomena happening, furniture moving, furniture being stacked, you know, doorways appearing, sounds, things getting thrown around, whatever. And a lot of times, especially if there are younger people involved, they are often found to be a poltergeist situation. And that is that the emotional turmoil that the children or the young people are going through, it begins to manifest as phenomena around the house, okay? Not intentionally, but this is something, you know, it's kind of not, you're not able to stop it, right? And so I feel like it just maybe with the energies of, and I'm trying to think here, it almost feels like there's like a, you don't want to leave, You're almost like, I just, you know, well, it's like when you have a pet, right? And you know that you're going to be traveling for a few days and they're used to you being there all the time. And yeah, you're going to worry about them. That's your baby, right? Can't take them with you this time. You know, you're going to miss them. They're going to miss you. It's almost kind of this feeling. But I think it's like a necessary break to leave your sanctuary, right? And go out into the big wide world. Go and see some people you know, right? Yeah, and I just feel like there's a sense of conflict around that. I feel like you're really like back and forth about, should I even go? Is this a good time? No, I can't give you advice exactly, but I think, like I said before, leaving an offering or two, you know, honoring the beings that are around the house and in the yard and share the space with you, you know, it can't hurt. And I think that, you know, ultimately there's a kindredness there. So I think that if you set your intentions and you let them know, right? And I know this probably sounds wildly just out there in bonkerland, right? But yeah, just like letting whatever things are, you know, kind of at the peripheral of your life, right? At the edges of your life. Yeah. Letting them know, hey, I'm going to be gone for a few days. Please don't destroy the house. Here's some, you know, I don't know, here's some bananas and bread and apples. And I'm going to set them right here on the table for you. And they're just for you, you know. And I'll be back in a few days. And, you know, like, be safe. I love you. You know? And, I mean, this is how I talk to spirit. But I'm very much in mom mode all the time. I'm always talking to everybody like a mom. So, you know, I think that it can be as simple as that. I don't think anything bad would happen either way. But, you know, these are kind of like your neighbors, your roommates, your little friend. So I think just taking the time to recognize that they're there, right? Okay, so we're going to do our lucky numbers. Let's do 3 of them. Okay, so we have 61, number 61, 54, 61, 54, 83. All right. And we're going to do our inner child oracle cards. And this just kind of punctuates the reading here. We'll see what it has to say. Okay. 23. Let it go. Let go of all that no longer serves you. Let go of all that no longer serves you. Yes. Out with the old. Out with that does not add to my life, right? Or at least creates some kind of ease within your life. All right, so I'm going to tell you I love you because I do, and I hope that you know that. And I want to thank you for spending this time with me. If you would be so kind as to like the video, that really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. So just go ahead and do it. And go check out my husband's channel over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. He's literally the coolest person ever, aside from our daughter, who is, you know, the ultimate, but yeah, he's like the second coolest person. So go check him out. He's really amazing at reading tarot cards, for sure. Also, he has a bedtime stories channel where he reads, you know, kind of short stories for you to listen to before you drift off to sleep. All right. I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. Goodbye.